Okay, welcome back everybody. And this is your boy Mark Ian. And for tonight, we're going to discuss with you another deck tech courtesy of FHP BS2 PCG Philippines. So guys, welcome to Deck Forger. Okay, so for tonight, we're going to try to explore and try to detail one of my favorite themes from the previous expansions, and this is what we call the Sinister Syndicate. And Sinister Syndicate, of course, consists of several individual supervillains who team up together in order to stop their one and only foe, Spider-Man. Okay, so let's try to open up this deck box. And so what you can see here is that this deck's very much thick, and it has many main characters, and that is because Sinister Six actually consists of 6 individual main characters. So in order for us to understand how they work, okay, the Sinister Six or Sinister Syndicate main characters actually become in a number of main characters, but you can only choose 6 to go with your deck. And the difference here is, unlike most characters, all, if not all, okay, Sinister Syndicate main characters are only level 1. And they normally have only 1 health. Of course, with the exception of one character, which is Venom, which comes with 2 health. And this is how you play a Sinister Syndicate character. Okay, so for instance, if you have 6 characters, you get to choose them in order. So let's say you want to play Dr. Octopus first. So if Dr. Octopus was stunned, okay, then he gets KO'd, and you get to replace him with another Sinister Syndicate main character during your next, okay, beginning step. Okay, so this is the good thing about this particular set of main characters, is that you get to choose one of them one at a time. Okay, and we'll try to go over each one of them so that you'll get to know them, okay, fully. Okay, so let's say for your first main character, you have, okay, Dr. Octopus. So Dr. Octopus is a level 1, okay, 2 attack, 8 defense main character. He is a Sinister Six, so again, you can include him in your Sinister Six main character file. And he has Leader. So Leader means that when he gets to team attack with another character, you get to choose which of them will the defender will strike back against. So it's not the other way around. And at the same time, Dr. Octopus is a brilliant boss. So at the start of your build phase, if there is a face-up Sinister Syndicate supporting character on your side, then you get to draw a card. So normally I use Dr. Octopus as my beginning main character, and normally once I am able to mulligan a Chameleon, because Chameleon, as your first drop, is a 3 attack, 2 defense Sinister Syndicate supporting character, and he has Master of Disguise. So Chameleon has the printed keyword powers of face-up Sinister Six main characters on your side. So in this instance, if I'm able to play Chameleon, okay, and make him survive the next turn, during my build phase, okay, Brilliant Boss will kick in. So you get to draw a card because you already have a face-up supporting character on your side. And at the same time, Master of Disguise will get to copy Brilliant Boss. So since he is the face-up supporting character, then you also get to draw a card. So that fetches you 2 bonus cards during your next turn. Okay? So going about with the other set of main characters, of course we have my favorite, Kraven the Hunter. So Kraven the Hunter is a Sinister Six character at 3 attack and 5 defense. He has 1 health. He has Hunter. So Hunter meaning when he attacks, okay, he gets an additional +3 attack on his stats, so that he becomes a 6 attack, 5 defense character on the attack mode. He also has a superpower called Spring the Trap. So as a reaction during your whenever an enemy supporting character appears, you may pay one red power symbol and put 3 -1 counters on it. So it's very good, most especially against mini decks. Pair up against opposing mini decks who are more into, playing more characters in one turn. Okay, so that's where Craven the Hunter really shines. And you also have a Chameleon as your main character. So Chameleon is a Sinister Six main character at 3 attack and 3 defense with 1 health. And his keyword power is Blessing in Disguise. So Chameleon has the printed keyword powers of face-up supporting Sinister Syndicate supporting characters on your side. So normally I reserve Chameleon to play during the mid game when I'm about to drop in, let's say, a boomerang, in order for Chameleon to be able to copy his printed keyword powers. Okay, so we'll explain boomerang later. And another one of my favorite main characters from the Sinister Syndicate is Mysterio. So he's a 1 attack, 6 defense main character with 1 health. He has Sinister Six and he has stealth. So meaning Mysterio can attack protected characters in the back row. Okay, so he can bypass those protecting in the front row. And his super keyword power is hallucinogenic gas. So hallucinogenic gas is once per turn, you may play a plot twist from your hand as a copy of any Sinister Syndicate plot twist. So what's good about this is if your deck is packed with, let's say, many plot twists or generic plot twists like, let's say, Find Cover or Open Fire, when Mysterio is out, you can actually, use those plot twists in order to copy any Sinister plot twist in your deck. So example, you can copy, put the team together or build the team together, or you can also use the whopping Sinister Six plot twist, which gives a huge +6 attack, +6 defense on any character in a combat. So Mysterio is good here in order for you to generate additional use for your other plot twists whenever you need it. And going to our 5th main character is of course Electro. So Electro is a 6 attack, 3 defense character with range and 1 health. So he has Sinister Six and his main superpower is Electrostatic Blast. So during the main phase, you may stun an enemy character. So this is good, most especially during the late game when Electro is already out and you need to stun an opposing main character with only 1 health remaining, and he's walled up against a huge defensive front row character wall, and Electro can actually do the job by just paying 1 blue power symbol. So I have chosen Venom as my last main character because of course Venom has 2 health, so that actually gives your entire Sinister Six main characters a total of 7 health, enough to help you survive most game. And Venom here is a 2 attack, 2 defense character with Sinister Six and Relentless Bond. So at the end of your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Venom. And this power remains on while Venom is stunned. And to add to that, of course, he has Symbiosis. So Venom can have and gain +1/+1 counters even while he is stunned. So that's the entirety of your repertoire of main characters. So it's up to you to choose which one to go first, which one to go next, most especially when you're up against, depending on which opposing decks you are going against with. So you can change your ordering, of course, depending if you are against an aggressive deck, or maybe a control deck, or maybe even a stall deck. So it's really up to you. Now, going forward, of course, besides the main character, we have many supporting characters. And the first on our list is Chameleon. So just like what I have explained a while ago, Chameleon is, you have 4 copies of Chameleon, and Chameleon is a 1-drop, 3 attack, 2 defense character with 1 health. And again, he's a Master of Disguise, so Chameleon has the printed keyword powers of face-up Sinister Six main characters on your side. So in my particular deck, he can copy the leader ability of Dr. Octopus and his Brilliant Pause ability. Okay, let's show it here. He can also copy the Hunter of Craven. Okay, he can also copy the Stealth and Hallucinogenic Gas of Mysterio. So effectively, you can use 2 plot twists, okay, that can be copied to any Sinister Six plot twist in the game, okay, or in that particular turn, okay. So Chameleon is here because he's a very versatile character. He can also copy Venom's Relentless Bond and Symbiosis, and he's here because he's one of your more versatile 1-drop. Going on the aggressive side, we have included 4 copies of Rhino. And Rhino is a 1-drop, 5 attack, 4 defense supporting character from the Sinister Syndicate. He has 1 health, but again, he has a very huge stats at 5-4. And this is, though he has a drawback, several drawbacks, which is solitary, so Rhino can't team attack. And he has a headlong charge. So when Rhino attacks a character in an enemy front row, that character they sidestep. If it does, remove it from the combat and you choose a character in their back row as a new character defender if able. So Rhino as a headlong charge may be seen as a drawback, but again, if your opposing character, your opponent has, let's say, a front row character and a back row character, so once Rhino attacks, I think your opponent may think twice into sidestepping because, you know, Rhino may be able to hit the character at the back row. So if it's the main character, normally at level 1, he can normally stun most characters. So I guess Rhino is also a good addition to this deck, okay? And of course, our last set of 1-drops are 4 copies of Beetle. So Beetle is a new addition to the Sinister Syndicate team, and Beetle is a 1-drop, 1 attack, 1 defense character with flight and 1 health. And his first keyword power is Climb. So at the start of your main phase, you may exhaust a location on your side. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Beetle. So Climb, I think you have already heard of it in the Spider-Friends expansion. So Climb is, if you have a face-up location on your side, all you have to do is exhaust it, okay, before your main phase, or at the start of your main phase. And if you do, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on Beetle. Then he has a superpower called Static Electrobite. So during the main phase, okay, for 1 blue power symbol, okay, remove each +1/+1 counter on Beetle, then put that many +1/+1 counters on an enemy character he could melee attack. So it's also very tactical when it comes to attacking. Once he goes big enough due to Climb, then you can also help, okay, level down any huge defender because of his static electrobite. Okay, so that is 4 copies of Beetle. Okay. Then going to your 2-drops, you have 4 copies of Vulture, and Vulture is 3 attack, 3 defense supporting character with 1 health and flight. And what's good is he can attack from above. So meaning Vulture has +1/+1 while attacking characters without flight. And Vulture has +1/+1 bonus also while attacking characters in the back row. So good thing about Vulture is he is 3/3, but then he can grow big once he is able to attack, okay, a defender without flight. So he becomes a 4/4. And if that defender is in the back row, then he becomes 5/5 instead. So he goes big enough to be able to stun most characters in the game. Okay, so let's place him here. Okay, so as far as 3-drops are concerned, we have put 4 copies of Hydro Man. So Hydro Man is a 3 cost, 5 attack, 3 defense character with 2 health. So he's big, but he has a setback because he's a man of water. So when Hydro Man is affected by freeze, KO him, and this power remains on while he is face down. So you better watch out for those characters like, let's say, Iceman or the Abominable Snowman, because once he is frozen, automatically he gets KO instead. But then again, he has a very good keyword power called Fluid Tactics. So with Fluid Tactics, if Hydro Man would gain any amount of attack from a combat plot twist, you may have him gain that much defense instead, or vice versa. So meaning if he gets to be played with, let's say, Sinister Six plot twist, he can get a plus 6 attack, plus 6 defense bonus from that plot twist, or maybe it can become a plus 12 attack, plus 0 defense, or it can also become a plus 0 defense attack, plus 12 defense. Okay, so very fluid indeed. And going to our 4th drop is one of the most powerful cards in the Sinister Syndicate. One of the most powerful character cards, okay? And this is Boomerang. So Boomerang is a 4 cost, 2 attack, 4 defense supporting character with 1 health. He has both flight and range. And his keyword power, okay, is called Specialized Boomerang. So once per turn, during your main phase, but not during combat, you may choose a boomerang this character hasn't thrown yet. Then choose an enemy front and back row character and you get the following effect. Okay, example, if you're going to play Bladeran, put a -1/-1 counter on each of them. So you put a -1/-1 counter on the front row character and a -1/-1 counter on a back row character. You also have Gasaran. So they have keyword, or they lose keyword powers this turn. You may also use Gravity Ran. So they can't ready on their next turn, so it's more like a freeze. Okay, you can also use Razor Ran. So they lose superpowers this turn. And you can also use Reflexor Ran. So these, both of them. You can also use Screameran. They can strike, okay, back this turn. Okay, let's focus on that. And of course, the finally, you have Shatteran. KO and equipment on each of them. Okay, so as we have explained before, and I think this has been discussed in the collective, is that Boomerang is a very versatile character and most probably the most important card in the Spidey Pose expansion. So normally you buy the Spidey Pose expansion because you have to get Boomerang. And Boomerang has various applications during the game, like if you're up against a wall and you want to hit on the main character at the back, okay, you can use Reflexorang to base 2 characters at the same time. Or if you're up against a very aggressive opponent, you can use Gravity Ran in order to, semi-freeze them and they can't ready on their next turn. And if you're up against a heavy equipment deck, like let's say WO Ripley, then you get to KO and equipment on 2 characters at the same time. So Boomerang is very important here. And most especially is a turn key card, most especially during the mid game. Okay, so I put 4 copies of him. This is very important. And for our 5th drop is of course one of the other important character cards in this deck, and we have Shocker. And Shocker is a 5 cost, 8 attack, 3 defense character with 1 health. He has range. So I put Shocker here because I want to control the resources of my opponent starting on the 5th turn. But then again, I can do this as early as the 4th turn, wherein you can use Safecracker. So during the main phase, you may pay a red power symbol and turn an enemy location face down. So if you do, draw a card. Then if you have another blue location in play or in your hand, you can use cover your tracks. So during the main phase also, you may pay a blue power symbol if you turn down an enemy location this turn, KO a face down resource on that side. So I normally drop Shocker on the 5th or 4th turn because as you can see from his power, from his set of powers, you can actually control the resources of your opponent or the resource allocation of your opponent. So enough to stop him from going to the 6th turn and 7th turn so that he won't be able to play his more powerful big drop supporting characters like of course the Gilgamesh, the Dark Phoenixes, and even the Captain Universe and all that stuff. Okay, so Shocker is here so that you are able to control the resource of your opponent, and that normally ends the game. Once you're able to stop him from getting 6 resources and above, then normally you cannot play those big characters anymore, and your most of your characters can already team attack to bring down all these existing characters in play. Okay, for our 6th drop, we have put 2 copies of Venom. And Venom is here because normally we don't play Venom outright. But Venom is big enough on its own as a supporting character. He is a 6 attack, 6 defense with 2 health. And he has climb, so just like a beetle, at the start of your main phase, you may exhaust a location on your side. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on Venom. And just like the main character, he has also symbiosis. So Venom can have and gain +1/+1 counters while stunned. So just place him here because of all the other 6 drop characters in the Sinister Syndicate team. I think he's the one who can survive better during the late game. Okay? And for our final drop, we have 2 copies of Green Goblin. So Green Goblin is here because he's a 7 cost, 7 attack, 7 defense. Okay, supporting character with 2 health. He has flight also, and at the same time, he has pumpkin bombs. So during the main phase, you may pay a blue power symbol. So Green Goblin strikes an enemy supporting character. So it's good enough to be able to, of course, whittle down those pesky lower cost characters. So once he is able to strike them and stun them and KO them, then of course you can automatically attack Green Goblin. Okay, even for those characters hiding in the back row because of his flight ability. Okay, so that wraps up our supporting characters. And going to our plot twist. Okay, so we have 1 copy of Sinister Six. So Sinister Six is actually a one-of-a-kind plot twist. On its own, it's already powerful enough. You may have only one of these cards in your deck. It says here that during any combat, choose a Sinister Syndicate character in the combat to get up to 6 attack to 6 defense this combat. Okay, so similar to Sacred Ground, but you don't have to pay for anything. And the only setback here is, of course, Sinister Six is, as a plot twist, is a one-of-a-kind plot twist. But then again, you have Mysterio, and of course, you have Mysterio, and you also have Chameleon in order for Chameleon to copy Mysterio, and by that, you can play any plot twist from your hand as a copy of this card. So very powerful even if you don't have the card in your hand, okay? As long as it is in your deck. Okay, so you have to understand, Sinister Six is a very powerful offensive and defensive card and can normally stun any character in the combat, okay? And you also have 4 copies of Putting a Team Together. So putting a team together during the build phase, remove the top 6 cards of your deck from the game. This build phase, you may recruit Sinister Syndicate characters from among them. And at the end of your build phase, put the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck. Okay, so good enough for you to complete your ramp or to complete your number of resource allocation, most especially if you want to drop in on these lower characters like Beetle, like Rhino, or Chameleon, or even Vulture. Okay, so later on we'll try to see how this deck works okay, in order to be able to dock those many characters at the same time. And at the same time, of course, we have 4 copies of When Together, How Can We Fail? So working together, how can we fail? We have 4 copies of them in our deck. So during the main phase, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 6 Sinister Syndicate characters on your side. So working together, how can we fail is more like a loyal soldiers type of plot twist. But of course, it works only on Sinister Syndicate characters, and you can put a +1/+1 counter on up to 6 of them. So if you're able to, play many supporting characters already, including your main character, okay, then you can play this plot twist in order to beat them up by putting +1/+1 counters on them. So if you have 2 of them on your hand, you can play both of them, and you're able to put 2+2/+2 counters on each of your characters, up to 6 of them. So very powerful card indeed. And we have put 2 copies of, okay, this plot twist. Okay, so teamwork makes the scheme work. Okay, so teamwork makes the scheme work is during the main phase, already up to 6 characters on your side. So wow, so in this case, if you're able to attack with most of your characters and they are all survived, or most of them survive the combat, and there's still opposing characters left on the board, you can play this plot twist. So you can ready up to 6 characters on your side. So more or less it's like an X Factor type of plot twist, but it can work for up to 6 Sinister Syndicate characters. And I placed only 2 copies here because normally I don't want to get most of them or more than one of them during any turn as part of my hand, because I would rather get putting a team together, or maybe when working together, how can we fail, or that's better for me. Okay. And lastly, we have 2 copies of Stand Together. And since my deck is a loyalty deck, so I put 2 copies of Stand Together. And Stand Together is a generic plot twist. It has loyalty, so you may put this in your deck only if all cards in your deck with a team affiliation share a team affiliation. Okay, so since all of them are Sinister Syndicate, okay, so it's legal for me to use them. And as a reaction, when an enemy character uses a superpower, cancel it. If there are face-up characters on your side, okay, greater than or equal to the number of power symbols they pay. So as long as you have, let's say, you use 1 power symbol to activate a superpower, and you have 1 Sinister Syndicate character in play, then you can use this plot twist Stand Together in order to cancel that superpower. So a very powerful card on its own. Okay, so going to the last part of our discussions, of course we have our locations. Okay, and for locations we have 3 copies of Secret Hideout. So this we will need a little bit of an explanation. So Secret Hideout is a Sinister Syndicate special location. So it provides a keyword power. Family is a source of weakness. So when you play this location, choose a face-up Sinister Syndicate main character on your side to take a hostage. So the hostage are actually several sets of Spider Friends, one-of-a-kind supporting characters. Okay, so there are 7 of them. I already provided 1 for each of them. Okay, so once this is played in your resource row, then you get to choose 1 hostage from your hostage pile, and you get to put them into on top or at the bottom of this location, and it provides its keyword power to your Sinister Syndicate main character. Okay, for instance, if I play Secret Hideout, and let's say I choose Harry Osborn, so it provides wealth or wealthy, okay, to my Sinister Syndicate main character. Okay, you cannot choose to, of course, provide this particular keyword power, no, because it only works on Spider Friends protecting this character. But if you have the Secret Hideout, this keyword power now translates to the Secret Hideout for that secret hideout to provide that keyword power to your main character. Okay, so that means if you have a secret hideout in play and you use Harry Osborn, okay, Dr. Octopus during the next turn will now get an additional resource point because he has royalty. Okay, so what are the other characters in the secret hideout file? Okay, on the hostage file, we also have Aunt May. So when she is out or she is taken hostage, okay, your main character now has Novel. So he gets your Sinister Syndicate main character gets a +3 attack +0, okay, defense while it is or he is defending. And you also have Flash Thompson. So Flash Thompson provides Fearless. Okay, so I think this double the attack, okay, against a main character. And you also have my favorite, Gwen Stacy. So Gwen Stacy provides Ferocious to your main character. So that means your main character gets to strike first before anyone else. Okay. And we also have, of course, J. Jonah Jameson. So J. Jonah Jameson provides lethal to your main character. So if it gets to stun, okay, a supporting character while attacking, then KO that character. And you also have Uncle Ben. So Uncle Ben provides stuff to your Sinister Syndicate main character. So if ever it gets to become stunned, then you may play it face up again. Okay, and of course Mary Jane Watson. So MJ provides pounce to your main Sinister Syndicate main character. So pounce meaning if he gets to attack, okay, an exhausted character, that exhausted character cannot strike back. So those are 7 very powerful hostages, okay, in your hostage file. But normally I use Harry Osborn at the onset because he provides an additional resource point. So I am able to play, let's say on the second turn, I'm able to play one drop character and also a 2-drop character. I can even play 3 1-drop characters, okay, all at the same time. Just because he provides fealty to my main character. And going to our other set of locations, we have 4 copies of Training Ground. And we have included Training Ground here because of course we have to use them on Shocker in order for us to get that him to put an opponent's location face down and to draw an additional card. And we also put 4 copies of Laboratory so that we can use them on Shocker and we can also use them on Green Goblin. So, but most especially for Shocker because the additional advantage of covering your tracks is of course going to control your opponent's resources starting on the 5th turn or 4th turn if we're able to put Harry Osborn out in play. And our final set, of course, are 4 copies of Oscorp. And this wild location is used most especially for other Sinister Syndicate superpowers like, of course, Craven's Spring the Trap, or for Shocker's superpower. So very versatile enough. Okay, so you can also use Oscorp for Green Goblin's pumping bombs. Okay, so well, that's it. I think we have covered most of them, and of course, it's up to you, on how to use your 6 characters during any match. So I'm not really trying to put up any suggestions here, but normally I use Dr. Octopus, most especially for stall type of opposing decks or even control decks. But I tend to use Craven Hunter if I want to go aggressive. But normally you use Electro during the last few moments of the game, most especially because it's easier to stun. At the same time, you can use this Electrostatic Blast in order to finish the game. So Sinister Six is a very good deck, but it again depends on how you use it during the game. Very versatile enough, and of course being a loyalty deck, the advantage of having those team attack can also help you, come close to winning any match. Okay, so again, thank you very much to everybody who watched this video. And of course, we would like to thank our sponsors. First of all, we'd like to thank Port Chubby Place, our official venue in Las Piñas City, Philippines. It is where we hold our regular events, okay, every Sunday. It's located at 3rd floor, Velasquez Compound, okay, Naga Road, Pulanlupa to Las Piñas City, Philippines. And also we'd like to thank our sponsor, the Treats for Them. So you may download the app at Google Play, at the Google Play Store, and also you can order your treats for your kababayans in the Philippines, okay, using their official website at www.treatsfordem.com. So again, remember, you can use the newest online shopping app in the Philippines, and it's called Treats for Them. So that is TREATS number 4, okay, THEM, that's Treats for Them. Okay, and also we'd like to thank all our friends from FHP BS2PCG Philippines, and also our friends in the US at the BS2PCG Collective. Most especially to Mr. Benjamin Brosin and Mr. Joe Vitelli of the Build Pace. And again guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you get to subscribe to our channel. And thank you very much. And hopefully we can see you again in the next episode of BS2PCG Deck Order. Okay, have a nice evening.